Assalamu alaikum friends, I'm Dr. Mahdi from waddan software channel. Welcome back to our SQLite Database course tutorials. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to back up and restore SQLite Database. But before I start, if you didn't watch the last tutorials, I advise you to watch them to follow the course in order. And if you didn't subscribe in the channel, subscribe now and don't wait anymore, and activate the bell to receive notifications for our new tutorials. And if you found this tutorial helpful, just support us and give like and share it to your friends to share knowledge. Okay, let's start. Here in our app, we have a special case because we picked the images from the camera or gallery. So for example, here, if we open the database browser, okay, you will find that the images are saved as blob. So now we need to add a new column here to save the image URI so we can make copy of the database. So here we need to make changes in the student database helper here. So I need to add a new column here for the image URI. So first here I'll change the database name for testing purpose, for example student1, and I'll add a new column here, for example image URI, and here image URI, and I make the required changes here in the onCreate. Image URI, it will be as text, and I'll copy this and paste again here. Okay, and in the insert student data, here we'll add string image URI. Okay, and here the column URI and image URI. Okay, and again I'll copy this and paste it here, and this line again, and here for the favorites. Okay, and here in the get student data, we need to make changes only in the student class. We need to add a new variable here. So here, to avoid any mistakes, I'll delete this constructor and I'll delete this getters and setters, and I'll create them again. So here, right click, generate constructor, okay, and getter and setters. So here, right click, generate again getter and setter and our variables. Okay, and now the student class is ready, and we'll go back to the student data helper, and we need to add a string image URI here. So copy and paste, and here in the column index 6, and the name is image URI. Okay, and here image URI, and again here I'll copy this line and paste it here, the same, and here image URI. Okay, and in the delete student no changes, and here in the update student data, again copy and paste, this time for URI and URI image URI. Okay, and here string image URI. Okay, and I'll copy this again to paste it here, and this line here. Okay, now the student data helper is ready, and we have some changes in the main activity also. So here in the adding new student, we need to add here the URI, but if you remember when we picked the image, we created the onActivity result here, and here we get the URI. So I need to make this result URI available in the main activity. So I'll copy this, okay, and I'll delete the URI, and here up here I'll paste it, and I'll go back to the adding new student. So here I have the URI, so result URI dot toString, okay, and here also we need the result URI, so result URI dot toString, and here also result URI dot toString, okay, and here in the update we need to get the result URI from the database, so I'll copy this line and paste it here, and here the string image URI and get image URI, okay, and I'll insert it in the insert favorite student data, so image URI, okay. Now we are ready to make our backup. So what will we do? Here in the insert menu we will include a new items to be shown here for backup and restore. So here I will add a new item, okay, and the title will be backup, and show as action will be never this time, and I'll copy this item and paste it again, and this time for restore. So the insert menu is ready now, and here in the main activity in the on options item selected here and down, I'll create a new if condition, so else if condition if item dot get title dot equals backup, okay. We need the storage permission, but if you remember when we picked up the image we created already the check storage permission and we requested the storage permission, okay, so we can use these methods again here. So if condition if check storage permission is true, okay, and else if it returns false, so request the storage permission and we'll add annotation here, okay, and now we will create a method to back up the data. I'll call it for example export CSV because we'll export the data in the CSV format, okay, and we'll create this method here, and I'll create another one to restore, and I'll call it import CSV, okay, and I can copy this if condition and paste it, but this time for restoring data, okay, and this method will be import CSV, and I'll include the show student data to update the adapter, okay, and here in the export CSV I'll start to back up the data. So I need here to create a folder in the SD card to save the data inside this folder. So here I write file, for example folder equals to new file, and the location will be in the SD card. So here it should be environment, so environment dot get external storage directory plus slash plus the directory name, for example I'll call it student backup, okay, and I'll check if the folder is exist or not. So if condition if the folder is not exist dot exist, I'll create it, okay, so folder dot make directory will create it, okay. Now we need the file name and path, so we write a string CSV file name equals to, I'll call it, for example, student backup.csv, and the path string CSV file path equals to this folder .toString because it is file plus slash plus the CSV file name. Okay, and we need to create a new array list to save the data from the database. So I write array list from the student class. I'll call it data list equals to new array list, and this data list will equals to student, the key of the database, dot get student data. Okay, so because we deal with file and to avoid any crashes, I'll write try and catch exception e for any exception if found, and if any message I'll get it in toast. So here e dot get message, and here I'll use the file writer keyword, file writer, for example fw equals to new file writer, and we need the path csv file path. Okay, and we'll create for loop for int I equals to 0 and I less than data list dot size, the size of the array list, and I plus plus, so we can write the data one by one. Okay, and here the file writer dot append, okay, quotation mark and plus the data list dot get position, which is I in this case, dot get ID. Okay, so we have the ID, and again fw dot append and quotation mark and comma, and this comma to separate the data like this in columns. Okay, if you didn't make this comma, the data will be stuck together in one line, and I'll copy these two lines and paste, and we'll get the name, and again get grade and get phone and get age and image, and finally get image URI, and we'll separate the line here /n. Okay, and here because we write, so we'll flash the fw.flash, and we'll close it .close, and we'll create toast message. So here data exported to, and the file path plus CSV file path. Now we finished the backup, we can test it. Okay, now we have a new database. I'll create some data, for example. Okay, now we have some data, and we got the icon here to backup and restore. If we click the backup, it will give this message, and here in the device file explorer and in the SD card, you can see that a new folder is created here for student backup, and we have this CSV format file. If we try to open it in the PC, okay, here in the desktop, if we open it, okay, we have now the data exported to this file, and the most important here that we have the URI of the images. Okay, we have 3 images here, and here in the data and the package name cache we have this images here, the same images. Okay, I tested this app in this emulator, and this emulator is Android 5.1, I think, this one 5.1. Okay, so to make this app works in Android 9 and 10, here in the manifest, here I write Android. Okay, Android request legacy external storage. Okay, and I make it true, and this app will work in the Android 9 and 10. Okay, now we'll move to the import CSV file here, and again we'll create a new file, and I'll call it this time CSV file equals to new file. Okay, and here we need to get this path here, so in the environment and the student backup and this file name, so environment dot get external storage directory plus double slash and plus quotation mark. Okay, and now we'll copy this folder name here, and the file name, this file name, student backup .csv, it will be here. So now we'll read this data from this file and restore it to the database, and we need try and catch. So try and catch exception E, okay, and exception message if found in toast, for example here, and E dot get message. And now here in the try we need to import library, open CSV library. So here in the Gradle, build the Gradle here, I'll add this library. So here com dot open CSV and open CSV version 4.6. I think the latest version is 5.5.2, but this works, and sync, and okay here again in the main activity, and I write CSV reader, alt enter, and CSV reader equals to new CSV reader and the new file reader, and we'll insert the CSV file. Okay, and we need to create a new string array. So string and I name this string as next line. Okay, and we'll create while loop. So while brackets again next line equals to the CSV reader dot read next, and this must not equals to null. Okay, and here we can get the data. So string id equals to next line in the column 0, and again for the other data. Okay, and we have the data, we can insert them to the database again. So student db dot insert student data, we have the name and the grade, the phone and age and image and the image URI. Okay, but we have here error, because if you remember when we inserted the data we converted the URI into byte, so we need to convert this image URI into byte and insert the value here. So I'll deactivate this line now for now, and here I'll convert the URI into byte. So here we need the URI from this string. So URI image URI equals to URI dot parse and the image URI in a string. So now we have the URI, and we'll convert this to byte. So what will we do is to use import stream. I call it stream equals to get content resolver dot open import stream, and we'll insert the image URI. Okay, and we'll create a new byte. So byte, for example, image in bytes. Now I'll create a new method to convert the URI into byte. So I'll call it, for example, get bytes, and we'll pass the stream. Okay, and we'll create this method, and here in this method we'll write byte array output stream, for example p stream equals to new byte array output stream and new byte. So byte, for example, bytes equals to new byte, and here we need to insert the value of the bytes. So we can use 256 or 1024, or for example 4096, and this depends on the memory you want to allocate for the image. So here I write, for example, 1024. Okay, and I'll create a new integer variable. So int, for example, len. Okay, and while loop again, len equals to stream dot read the bytes here, and this must not equals to -1. Okay, and now we have error here in the read because we need to include the exception IO. So here through IO exception, okay, the error is gone, and here bstream dot write, and here bytes and 0 and the len. Okay, and here return bstream dot to byte array. Now this method is ready. I'll go back to the import method here. So here I can activate this line again, and here I'll insert this image in bytes. So here image in bytes, and that is. So we can test the app. Okay, now I'll create backup for this data. It's stored, and I restore it again. We can see that the data restored, but we have two problems because every time when we restore, it will repeat the data with a new IDs. We need to reset the database before restoring the data, and also because we picked the images from the gallery or camera, and the images are saved here in the cache. But here in the folder where we saved the backup, we need to save also the images here. So if the user uninstalled the app and installed the app again, he can restore the all data without missing anything. And also, if we have here a lot of images or unused images, it will make the mobile very slow. So we need to clear the cache and get the used images only. So now I'll stop at this point, and in the next tutorial I'll solve these issues So don't miss the next tutorial, it will be very important. So if you didn't subscribe in the channel, subscribe now and activate the bell to receive the notifications for the next tutorial. And if you found this tutorial helpful, just give like and thanks for that. And see you in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.